Welcome to the Living a Nordic Life podcast, where we explore a simpler, cosier and more intentional life the Nordic way. I'm Fiona McKenna, your Nordic living guide and founder of Living a Nordic Life, where I share all things Nordic living and show you that a Nordic life is the way to bring intentional calm and healthy habits into your own life, wherever you are in the world. Are you looking for ways to bring simplicity, coziness and calm into your life? Well, let me show you how. Visit the Living a Nordic Life website to explore how I can help you on your journey to simple, healthy and happy calm, the Nordic way. You can subscribe to the podcast right here. And if you want regular inspirational emails sent with love from Norway and straight to your inbox, don't forget to subscribe to the Living a Nordic Life newsletters. And so now let's dive into our episode. Let's talk about some Nordic Easter traditions. And every time I talk about Easter, when we coming up to it, which is about now, at the time I'm recording this, we're in March, I can't help telling everybody how much I love it. I love Easter. It's my favourite celebration. It's that celebration of new life, of the start of spring. Everything's kind of in pastel colours, isn't it? And you've got all those beautiful flowers coming out, lots of yellows and blues and whites and things like the spring bulbs, and there are daffodils everywhere. I love it. I love it more than Christmas, I have to say. And birthdays. It's just because I think it marks the end of the winter, which is harsh here in Norway, and brings us forward into what is going to be summer, a long summer as well, and all those lovely long days of almost no night time here. But Easter is a time that is most often associated with Christianity, isn't it? Not always, but most often associated with Christianity and going to church, followed by Easter egg hunts, maybe, if you have this kind of romanticised idea of it, But here in Norway, there are some other Easter traditions that are far more popular and quite a lot different to the ones you might expect. There actually aren't that many Easter egg hunts here. People do them themselves, but there aren't really those kind of organised Easter egg hunts that you might see in England or in America or Canada or France, for example. But here, people do it themselves. We do eat chocolate eggs, but not very often these organised Easter egg hunts. I do miss that a little bit, I have to say. Coming from England, I miss it a little bit, and we do it here ourselves with the kids. We make a point of having an Easter egg hunt at home, but I do miss those organised ones. But did you know that Easter and springtime celebrations date back to long before Christianity and Easter as we know it? You probably do know this, don't you? A lot of these Christian celebrations are actually pagan celebrations that have kind of been integrated. Happens a lot with religions, doesn't it? We won't get into a talk about religion. But long before Christianity appeared in the world, people were celebrating the pagan springtime goddess Easter. The first recorded springtime celebrations were in the 8th century. That's a long time ago, but I'm sure people were celebrating it way before then. They were also celebrating the springtime equinox, which is around about this time, and the arrival of new life long before that. It's a time of birds hatching, isn't it? And babies being born, baby animals being born. And that celebration of new life starting. That's a celebration that we have, I have to say, in our house. For the last few years, since we've had chickens, we always have baby chicks hatch just before Easter because the temperature goes up and our hens get a little bit broody. Some of them. If the temperature rises a few degrees, they get broody. But some of them in particular. So we like to hatch chicks. Some of them we keep. And some of them we sell on to other people who want to either start their own flock or expand their flock. Not without careful vetting, I have to say. We don't sell them to just anybody. I make sure that they're going to go to good homes and people know what they're doing. But it's that lovely celebration of life, seeing those chicks hatching and hearing the little cheeps as well. In fact, we had a bunch hatch yesterday. It's really exciting. I love it. There was always a strong connection to the seasons. And we still see that in the Nordics now. We see that in a lot of things in the Nordics, but Easter especially. And as you know, probably know, many of the seasonal celebrations we mark in the Nordics in modern times have been marked for hundreds of years, right back to the time of the old Norse gods. Easter is a time really to slow down a little bit. We like to slow down and take time with family. The kids have a shortish Easter holiday here. It's about a week, 10 days, depending on when Easter falls. But it's a good time to take a break, and especially if Easter is later, like it is this year, 2025. It's at the end of April. So that's when things are starting to warm up a little bit. Although there is no saying that we won't have more snow, because it happens, even down here in the south. But lots of people in Norway like to take time off over Easter. You find that in a lot of European countries, Easter is a time for shops and businesses to close. In fact, in some places it's the law, they have to close. And everyone slows down for a few days from Maundy Thursday through to Easter Monday. And the same applies here in Norway. Our shops close on a Sunday anyway. But over Easter, they're closed for even longer. And it forces you to slow down, doesn't it? It's quite nice, that. It's a time to stop for a few days and enjoy some family time or time with friends. And that might mean going to the cabin, a trip to the cabin, or what we call a hytte in Norway. Lots of Norwegian cabins are really quite isolated. There are the very expensive, luxurious cabins that have all singing, all dancing mod cons. But most are not. And that's the whole point of a cabin. It's getting away from everything. It's getting away from technology and that hustle and bustle and all the kind of daily pressure that you feel in modern life. It's escaping from it. And they can be quite isolated. People here like to take time to recharge and spend some time in peace and quiet and the restorative qualities of nature all around you. So you might go to your cabin and it be a summer cabin, not a winter cabin, you know, that's all kind of set up ready for you to survive minus goodness knows what. But summer cabins tend to be opened up at Easter. It's a kind of tradition to go to the cabin, open everything up, clean it up, spend some time just making everything spick and span ready for every weekend that you're going to spend there over the summer. And as I say, some of them can be quite isolated. So you might have to park your car and walk for 10 minutes or even longer to get to your cabin. If you're lucky, you could park your car outside, but not everybody. And you might have to walk to get to your cabin. And it's that isolation and having just the peace and quiet of nature around you, and maybe no electricity, no phone reception, no TV. All those things that are there in the background all the time, distracting us and stopping us from getting on with things, or even stopping us from just stopping, if that makes sense. Preventing us from just stopping and having a moment of peace and quiet without all this noise around us all the time. So that gives you an idea of what a cabin is like here. You could actually Google it and have a look. I mean, some of them are very isolated, I have to say. We like to get out and eat a quick lunch and an orange. We all know that chocolate and orange go together, don't we? They're best friends. I love chocolate and orange. I'd cook anything with chocolate and orange. But for some reason, these two things are usually only eaten together towards Easter in Norway. How strange is that? Quick lunch is kind of the Norwegian version of a Kit Kat. It's maybe not quite so chocolatey, and and the chocolate isn't quite so thick. It's slightly different. I mean, if you did a blind taste test and you knew what a Kit Kat was like, you'd be able to tell the difference, but maybe not immediately. But it's something that we take on every hike for those moments when you spot a fabulous place to sit down. You know, those moments happen, don't they? You're like, oh my goodness, that's a lovely view. Or I'm a bit tired, I could do with a snack. And you just want to sit and have a little bit of a break and a treat, because do you know what? If we're out hiking and we're out in the fresh air, we are allowed to have a treat. We don't need to completely deprive ourselves. They're eaten on hikes so frequently, quick lunch, that the company that makes them prints the rules of mountain hiking on them on the inside of the packet. So when you open the packet up, it's got these mountain rules, you know, like don't leave your litter, leave gates as you find them open or closed, however as you come across. Don't leave any damage, don't leave toilet paper all over the place. People do that, don't they? Don't leave carrier bags, that kind of thing. But all these rules, just in case you forget when you're out, in case you think you're going to throw your quick lunch wrapper on the floor. No, you'll be reminded not to do that. But what you also see with a quick lunch is an orange. Why the two go together, I don't know, but they are. And it's a really nice combination. So you should give it a go, because it's terribly Norwegian to take with you on a hike. A coffee, or some coffee in a flask. You want it to stay warm, don't you? A quick lunch, or a Kit Kat if you can't get a quick lunch, and an orange. Little bit of a treat and something slightly healthy. And when you have your stop, you stop and eat and drink. And it takes a little bit of time, doesn't it, as well, to peel an orange. So you're kind of sitting there enjoying nature and being really present in the moment, which is important. And that gets me on to the next thing we like to do at Easter, which is getting out into nature. As we come up to the spring, the longer days start to happen. Those really long nights suddenly almost feels like it's over. We are getting daylight at about 5:30, I guess, and it's not getting dark until 7 p.m. It's lovely, and slightly warmer temperatures, we hope, as well. This year it's been wonderful. Our spring has been really early, and yesterday was 14 degrees centigrade, which is really quite warm, but it is still getting cold at night, still in the minuses. But it's a great time to get outside, and in the Nordics that's what people like to do. We like to get started on our spring and summer healthy habits by making the most of every moment of daylight. Those harsh winters really do make us appreciate the spring, the summer and the autumn. Most of the outdoor spaces are open again at Easter, and the ice has melted, making it easier to get through trails and up hills and across mountains. So it's a wonderful time to get outside and start those healthy habits. And everybody else is doing it as well. So there's this kind of celebratory feel and a sharing of something healthy and something that we know is not only good for our bodies but also good for our minds. And everybody's out doing it. And while we're out, we like to look for the first signs of spring. I always find it inspiring and fun to see Norwegians out at the beginning of spring. I thought, actually, that I was the only one who looked out for the first signs of new growth and blåveis, which are blue wood anemones. And they are the first flowers usually that we see out in the spring. They grow in the forests, but usually where the forest is a little bit sparse and perhaps mixed woodland. So some broadleaf, deciduous trees, and maybe some conifers as well. And that's where it's slightly warmer and the snow and the ice have melted. But actually, I was not the only one looking for those. Everybody does it. And there will be crowds of people around the bluest wood anemones taking photos. It's lovely, it's such a gentle thing. And sharing the photos on their social media to show that spring has arrived. And we can look and see what everybody else is doing. Oh, there's flowers there in that part of town, or flowers there in that region. And we could go there and really enjoy those first flowers. Nobody picks them though. We also look for the first migrating birds arriving, because that's the first sign of spring. to hear the geese coming over and the swans. Everybody loves it. Everybody looks up. Oh my God, it's geese. They're coming over. And they don't always stay. They might stay for a few weeks or a month, rest up a little bit, eat, and then they're on to wherever it is they go, wherever it is they migrate to. Some of the swans stay, but mostly, yeah, they're onward. But it's that lovely marking of life passing through, because it's been quite quiet over the winter. Now, this is one that you may or may not have heard of. Påskekrim. It's a really bizarre happening at Easter in Norway. Påskekrim is Easter crime. And it's not a festival of crime. It's not like something from The Purge or anything like that, you know, with people just absolute havoc being wrought. Not at all. It's a celebration of literary crime and also crime on TV. Crime films, crime series. Some of it is light-hearted and a little bit gentle, like Midsummer Murders or Vera. And some of it is a bit darker, like The Bridge. Have you seen that? It's really good. And some of the more Nordic noir. But it is mostly a celebration of new crime novels that have been released by Nordic authors. And the bookshops go crazy. Everybody releases it at the same time. The bookshops have Påskekrim celebrations and stands up and authors signing books, and the books are going cheap. And it's a wonderful time to go and stock up on this. Everybody does it. And I think maybe the main reason for it is that a lot of people will go to the cabin at Easter and they need to take something to read, because reading at the cabin is something that lots of people do if they don't have electricity, or they don't have a TV signal, or they don't have their mobile phone signal, or maybe they just don't want to look at the TV. Perhaps they want to read. And it's a wonderful opportunity to do this. And everybody makes the most of it. It's very exciting because you get to see all the new releases in this particular genre. There are even Easter crime solving games and series on TV for the kids, and they do it at school as well. It's gentle. It's not anything that, you know, would make you sort of put your hands up in horror. It's very gentle stuff. So it might be, you know, Teddy stolen an apple or something like that. But it's nothing too scary. But it brings them into it as well. It's all about being outside here in Norway at Easter and enjoying the first outdoor grilling. We've done this already. And I do look forward to this, I have to say. I love it. We don't have a barbecue at the moment. We've actually got a grill punner, which is one of those tripod barbecues with, it's got tripod legs, quite big. It's about 5 foot, 6 foot tall, and a kind of bowl hanging on chains beneath which you put your wood or your charcoal or whatever into it. It's a good size, and then the grill on top of it. It's very Nordic. I love it. I like grilling on that more than I do on the barbecue, but I do look forward to using it. And it's so much fun to be able to get outside and do that. Nordic people are very good at grilling and eating outside right through the winter, actually. Everybody does it. But there's something special about the first barbecue or grilling session in the garden, because we would normally go out and grill out in nature. There's lots of grilling places everywhere you go. There are grilling places. They're either these bollpanna, tripod barbecues, or it'll be some stones protecting an area and we can grill in it. So we'll take wood with us, and it doesn't matter when it is. I mean, we do it all through the winter. But as we come up to the 15th of April, there is a ban on having these open fires out in the forest. We can still grill on the barbecues, but we can't grill on the ground because, as you know, Norway is very forested and we have an awful lot of forest fires. And if a forest fire takes hold, it can actually burn under the ground for weeks. It takes an awful lot of putting out. So there's a complete blanket ban from the 15th of April. So we like to make the most of it quickly, as early as we can. And then we go out and we grill on bollpanna. it's quite an event. And towards Easter, we start to see the supermarkets and butcher's shops stocked up with grilling food. For those who want to be a bit more adventurous, we head out into the wild and we grill on a bowl panner, or by a lake, or by the sea, on the beach. But it's a wonderful celebration of the start of that season, and a time when other people are doing it as well. So you don't feel alone or like you're doing something weird or, slightly out there. Everybody's there doing the same thing. So as you can see, Norwegians are not so conventional when it comes to celebrating Easter. For a nation that can be a little bit conventional, I have to say, when it comes to these celebrations, it's something that is a lot more focused on nature and being outside. And much of what happens here follows the changing of the seasons and those age-old traditions that have been around for centuries. So now you know a little bit about how we like to celebrate Easter or Easter time in Norway. I wonder if any of these are things that you celebrate yourself without realising it. Just how Nordic are you? I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next episode. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the Living a Nordic Life newsletters so you can get an email when I release a new episode. It's a quick and easy way to keep up with all things Nordic living. Please visit livinganordiclife.com. You can listen to Living a Nordic Life on lots of podcast apps, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcasts, and plenty of others. If you've enjoyed the Living a Nordic Life podcast, why not leave me a rating? So that's the end of Living a Nordic Life for today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.